All right, guys, it's Therese Paler. I'm here with Vahe Gregorian, Sam Mellinger, and Blair Kirkhoff. Back here with the A-team. Chiefs have won their 9th straight game thanks to this 17-13 win over the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns aren't a very good team, but they definitely put a scare into the Chiefs. And to dissect why, I'm going to ask this crack staff of reporters. I feel like Vahe went first last week, and this is about time to have Sam Mellinger do his best Ricky Henderson impression. So Sam, tell us why this game was so close and give us your major takeaway from this game.
Well, I think some of it is Justin Houston and Tamba Hali not being there. The Browns were crushing the edges. The Chiefs had a hard time getting any pressure on Manziel, and that hurt them, especially in the second half. The Chiefs couldn't get the Browns off the field. But I think for me, if you're going to be concerned about something, I'd be more concerned about the offense because they don't have that built-in excuse of missing, their best overall player, I believe, in Justin Houston, and one of their most important in Tamba. The offense has to do a better job than that. I think they had 58 yards in the second half.
That's it.
They got to do better than that.
Sam, you like football. You follow football.
I do.
Is there a chance that Andy Reid's been holding stuff the last 2 weeks for this game against Oakland? Obviously, Oakland's better than the last two teams they played, and the game plan's been so vanilla. It's at least worth asking. So what's your opinion?
Yeah, I think that every NFL team plays to the score, right? But I think the Chiefs do that more than most. I think we saw that from literally from the first game when they got up big. I forgot what the spread was against Houston in that first half, and just kind of take the air out of the ball a little bit. And yeah, I could see that. I could see that, especially as the playoffs get closer and the Chiefs are a completely different team than they were a few months ago. Wanting to hold back a little bit to have, not just get into the playoffs, but have some success there.
Absolutely. Blair, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the second half, the struggles they had on defense. What really stood out to you about some of those issues, and what did you think of Johnny Manziel?
Well, a couple things. First of all, we get 3 or 4 minutes into this before I heard the word playoff mentioned once. And oh, by the way, they clinched this playoff spot tonight, which was their second in 3 years under Andy Reid. That's a good thing, right? That's an accomplishment.
First time since the 90s.
That's right. So not bad. But you're right. I thought sort of following a pattern of the Chiefs at home during this 9-game winning streak is, they struggle in the second half, and this thing ends up being, coming down to the final plays for the opponent. With remember the Chargers game, and even Buffalo got tight in it was tight in the second half, and it ended up being a 1-touchdown game. Chiefs had to come back in that one. But what is it? Is it Arrowhead? Why do they play the big margins on the road? But here it's it's a struggle in the fourth quarter. They couldn't get off the field. Cleveland had the ball for 22 minutes. Something I didn't write about. I'm sure it's in Teresa's game. Where a fake punt kept alive a Cleveland drive that turned into a 21-play, 12-minute possession. It only went 62 yards and ended up with a field goal. I think that's a big chunk. 12 minutes out of the 30 in the second half is just it just takes up a lot of time. Look, as Sam said it, they didn't have Houston, they didn't have Tamba Hali, they don't have their 2 rush edge guys. Again, that I think would have did a better job containing Johnny Manziel, who rushed for over 100 yards in a game for the first time as a pro quarterback. I think he could be a good pro. I do. I think he could be a good pro. You put some good players around him. I think he's got. You and I talked about during the game. He's got some qualities that you just don't see other quarterbacks have, including Russell Wilson.
Absolutely. And Blair, you're a specialist, aside from being one of the members of the A-team. You're a specialist in the playoff scenario, so just kind of give us a breakdown of where we're at right now.
Well, first of all, being a member of the A-team is special enough, and honor enough, and privilege enough for anybody. But the Chiefs, they're in the playoffs, and they can be either.
He's being serious.
That's right, damn serious. The Chiefs can be the 3, the 5, or the 6 seed. Those are the only seeds that they can be. Broncos, it doesn't even matter what the Broncos do Monday night against the Bengals. Those 3 scenarios are alive for the Chiefs going into next weekend. The short answer is if they tie with the Broncos, the Chiefs will be the 3 seed because they win the tiebreaker. If they tie with the Jets, they'll be the 5 seed if the Broncos end up being the 3. So they'll be the 5th seed. The only way they're the 6th seed is if they have a worse record than the Jets. If Chiefs lose next week, Jets win next week, Chiefs will be the 6th seed.
Okay. And actually, Vahe's got a really interesting column for tomorrow I'd like you guys to all check out. Vahe, please do us the honor of telling us what you're writing about and give us some details.
Well, I know we're getting a little spoiled here in Titletown after the Royals and now the Chiefs winning 9 in a row. But yeah, it is writing about that. And one of the first things I learned when I came here, I didn't know it from afar, but when I got here, gosh, close to 3 years ago, either Blair and or Sam, in some conversation or other, was sort of giving me the landscape. And part of the landscape was, yeah, you know, the Chiefs and Royals never been in the postseason the same year. I was like, what? And maybe that happens, maybe there's some, you know, other place where that's really happened, but I don't, it's hard to think of those levels of teams. And I think it's kind of neat, and there's some interesting connective tissue there. If nothing else, the neighbors across the street here, and there's maybe a little synergy to be had. I might be imagining that a little bit, but Dustin Colquitt talked quite a lot. He's the longest tenured chief, along with Derek Johnson, talked a lot about the relationship with those guys over there, and maybe a little juice, to use your word, that if you make it all the way that far into the column, that you'll find that there from them. So anyway, I'm just kind of intrigued by the whole link there, and it is interesting to me that I do wonder, just in our talking about this, how much the special Royal season has subdued our talk about, yeah, the Chiefs won 9 in a row, and they didn't really win very convincingly, but, you know, I have to say, it's actually, big picture, if you step away, it's pretty impressive and maybe pretty promising. We'll see. I mean, I fully expect, we talked about this last week, but I fully expect them, without even know who they're going to play, I just fully expect them to win at least their first playoff game. And
that's kind of the thing here. You got the situation, this team, they won 9 in a row, and they got this regular season finale here against Oakland. They go ahead and they win this game. That sets a franchise record for consecutive wins in a season. And I hope people appreciate, in a way, how rare and how hard it is to just win 5 games in a row in this league, let alone 9. And I think this win is kind of even though it's against a bad Browns team, this was kind of a trap game. And in a way, you know, you think about it, you think that if they weren't a good team at some point throughout these last 9 weeks, somebody would have snuck up and got them. So now what you've got is a good team, and the question is, you know, how far can they go? We really don't know. I actually am of the opinion they're not using all their offensive stuff. This game plan is so vanilla, so limp, first in the second half, the last 2 weeks. That's not their best stuff. I think what you're going to end up seeing is they're going to break out the good stuff this week against Oakland, or in the first round of the playoffs, like they did 2 years ago against the Colts. I mean, we all remember that. They just went out and lit it up. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But no matter what, we're going to be here. 8 teams going to be in the mix. They can go to Houston. Doesn't matter. We're going to be there. You could be here. Doesn't matter. We're going to be there. You know, we're going to go wherever we got to go to cover this team. And you guys know that. You know, we're going to cover it. We cover it well. So just going to plug some stuff real quick. Make sure you check out our podcast. We're going to tape our next one tomorrow. You can go to iTunes. It's on SportsBeat KC. Just go to iTunes podcast, go to search function, type in SportsBeat space KC. Got a lot of positive feedback. I think people really like it, guys. We get along well. We know our stuff. So check that out. I think you'll like it. And you know, we do a pretty good job of dishing out Chiefs knowledge. Remember to continue to go to kansascity.com for all your Chiefs news. Follow us all on Twitter. Pretty good chance that if you're watching the video, you know about the site and you know about our Twitter handle. So check it out that way. But that's it. From Arrowhead, I'm Therese. For Sam, Vahe, and Blair, this is the A-Team. Over and out. See y'all.